Hi everyone, I'm Nikki, and today I'm really excited to be chatting to Jayne. Jayne's been training with me for 15 years,
Yeah.
so for quite a long time. And Jayne is part of my Lift small group weight training sessions for women, and she's been a part of those for about 6 years. And she's also recently joined my Midlife Mojo Method, which is an online program, and that's designed to help women in midlife feel strong, confident, and full of energy again. So I wanted to bring Jayne on today just to share a bit about her journey, her results, her experience with working with me, and how she's found combining in person and online coaching. So, Jayne, can you start by sharing a little bit about yourself and what life was like before you started training with me?
Yeah. So hi. Nikki and I have known each other for a long time and we didn't realize it until after we started training together, actually, did we? Because we've got a family connection. So Nikki was at school with my sister. But then we started working together about 15 years ago. So I joined a couple of Nikki's classes, usually when I wasn't feeling great, to be honest, or when I had a big event that was coming up. So either it was a birthday or a wedding or some big party I needed to go to. And I wanted to feel better and look better in whatever it was I was going to be wearing. So I went on a couple of your Revive programs and other things like that and actually got great results. I did get great results from doing those sorts of things, but they were, and I don't know whether this was probably me. It was a bit of a short-term hit thing. So I went in, did what I needed to do, got the results I wanted, and then just went back to doing what I did before, basically.
Yeah,
So
you
I had to
sometimes
keep,
you would come in, you would do
yeah,
those programs, and then you might disappear for a little bit, wouldn't you, Jane?
exactly,
And
yeah,
then
several months, even sometimes years, and then come back again and go, come on, I need to do this again. And I think you used to talk to me then a lot about consistency, and I don't know whether the penny really dropped about what you meant by that. I don't think, and probably until, to be honest, a bit more recently, really. So I think like I said, I got the results I wanted, but I think what I've learned through this program, not to jump ahead too much, is it's more about just consistently doing the right things and prioritizing the right things and and prioritizing me. I think
yeah,
that's what I didn't do before. And I think I probably got easily derailed when things got busy and other things were happening. And then I didn't make me or this a priority. And I think the difference that's made has been massive. Yeah.
yeah, and I'd agree that after nearly 30 years of doing this, being in the fitness world and coaching women, you are not the only one. There's
Yeah.
lots of women that just don't put themselves first because everybody else comes first. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting because you're not alone with that. And I know other women
No.
were going to resonate with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and what made you sort of decide to start? I know you've
Yeah.
said obviously there were
Yeah.
probably it was the events that were
Yeah.
coming up in
Yeah.
your life that you came to
And,
see
and
me.
and sometimes not feeling great. So I think we've talked a lot about, menopause and perimenopause symptoms, and I think went through quite a lot of stress with work and other things. I'm really busy. I travel a lot with work, and I had a lot going on. My medical history isn't great. So my grandmother had a stroke at 59. My mother had a mini stroke at 59 and then had a big stroke at 84. So I kind of feel like I know that's in my future. And I felt like I needed to do something then to manage that so that that
Yeah.
wasn't going to be something that was, that I was constantly worrying about. So I knew the lifestyle choices and things that I needed to do. I think it's getting into that habit, isn't it, of doing it. So I think the big one for me for this time of the big change for me was I was going to be turning 60 this year. So I think I had in my head that I really wanted to be fit and healthy and strong at 60. I've got grandchildren, so who I regularly have, look after, and I want to be able to sit on the floor and play with them. I want to do
Yeah,
all the things, do you know what I mean, that I
absolutely.
currently do with them. So I
Yeah,
take them swimming regularly. I want to be out cycling with them. I want to do physically all those things, to enjoy that time with them and not feel like
yeah.
I'm limited physically by that. But as well, I wanted to carry on working. I actually like what I do. And again, with the amount of travel that I was having, I was finding it was a struggle really. And well, I think I talked to you once about I was going into London regularly and traveling, and moving around in central London quite regularly. I was having real problems with my knees. So I was going up and downstairs
Yes.
and my knees were really causing me a problem. Um, but once I started doing lift and I started doing more regular squats and other exercises like that, I don't have any problems with my knees now. And I think
I
that
mean,
was when
and
I was
that's,
47, I started having those problems. And at 60
yes, I
now, I don't
remember.
have problems with my knees.
Yeah. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because actually, a lot of women think if they have knee issues that
Yeah.
they can't squat and they can't
Yes.
weight train. But actually, the lift program, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, we just do weight training
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
do all the big lifts,
Yes.
squats,
Yeah.
lunges, and you couldn't lunge at one
I
point at
couldn't.
all, could
No,
you?
not at
You
all.
were
No.
so, and now you're doing all the
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
and not having that knee pain. I
No.
mean, that's amazing, isn't it? So that means
Yeah.
you can still get up and down off the floor
Yes.
with your grandkids.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
want to be carrying on doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's
Yeah.
brilliant because I was going to ask you what were the main things you were struggling with at the time, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
having quite a few
Yeah.
conversations about how we were
Yeah.
feeling with perimenopause
Yeah.
what would you say now? Do you feel that having given yourself that time and made time for your training, for
Yeah.
looking after yourself, eating better, those symptoms are much better?
And much more manageable now, I think. Don't get me wrong, I think women will always struggle with some of these, but I think I was reflecting on it actually before I came on the call because I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I suppose mentally I feel more alert now. I think that's the difference as well. I think the brain fog, I mean, my main symptom of menopause was anxiety and brain fog and all of those kind of things. And actually that been is massively different, I think. And I think some of that is definitely exercise, eating better, all of those things have made a massive difference for me. So I don't feel as bloated as I did. Don't get me wrong, I still feel tired, I think sometimes, but I think that's I'm doing a lot. And
Yeah,
I think, you know what I
and
mean?
you're
It's a more natural tiredness rather than a fatigue tiredness of do you know what I mean? Of not feeling great.
yeah,
Just
not having the energy to do the
yes,
things. Yes,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And just in context, like your day, sometimes when you're traveling,
yeah.
you're out for
Oh, I'm getting up
12
at
plus hours on.
5:30 in the morning to be on the road before 7 every day. And I don't get home until often after 7 o'clock at night. Do you know what I mean? And
So
they're
they're
long
long
days.
days.
They are long days.
So
But I do
anyone
feel
is
like,
going to feel tired.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do feel I'm still doing that. I am able to
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And if I
absolutely.
wasn't doing this regularly, and I do notice it when I don't do it as often, I don't feel as able to do it, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that obviously when we're training in any way and we're exercising, we're moving our body, it does
Yeah.
take energy, but actually moving the body creates
Yes. Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
So we often think, oh, we're too tired for that. But I know from like obviously feedback I get from you and the other girls in lift,
Yeah. Yeah.
you come in saying, I'm feeling
Yeah.
tired,
Yeah.
but then you're leaving
Yeah.
feeling so much better because and I was going to ask about like, you've been a part of the lift sessions for it's got
Yeah.
to be 6 years now.
Yeah.
Um, and I was going to say, what do you love about those? But I think certainly what I get from it, it's not just about lifting weights, we all lift each other.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, I think again, it's interesting, isn't it? I started doing that program, the lift program, when we were getting ready for Lydia's wedding. And
Yeah,
Lydia wanted to get fit as well. So the two of us came together and did it together. I think she got more out of it probably at the start. She was seeing quicker
did, yeah,
results. I suppose she was younger. Um, so she saw quicker results. And at the start, because I'd been to other things with you before, and I'd done kettle size and other programs, I found the lift program a bit slow to begin with. Do you know what I mean? Because I was used to doing faster, do you know what I mean, group exercises, and I wasn't convinced it was doing anything. But actually, what I've learned is you don't need to do that high intensity training. Do you know what I mean? The strength training that I've now got into the habit of doing is seeing much better results than I probably saw previously. So it's interesting, isn't it, how
I love
your
that.
perception is. And I probably, if it hadn't been Lydia wanting to do it at the start and the group of women that they were, I think I probably would have given up. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have
Yeah,
carried on at the start, but I
yeah.
did. And I'm so glad I did now. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I love that because um, you supported Lydia, your
Yes.
daughter, because she
Yeah.
wanted to get,
Yeah.
look great for a wedding. I mean, she looks great anyway, but she
Yeah.
wanted to look and
She
feel as
did.
best as she could.
Yeah.
And actually, if that hadn't have happened, you might
Yeah.
not have even
No,
tried
I
that. And
know.
you and the fact that you've been doing those sessions and your knees aren't hurting and all
Yes.
of those
Yeah.
things, it is sometimes we overlook perhaps some of the things that might give us better results,
Yeah.
or maybe it's because we don't really understand.
And I think that was it for me. I don't think I
Yeah,
really understood the value or the impact of
yeah.
it. And I think
Until you did it.
yeah, until I did it.
Yeah,
And I think that's where your coaching really helps because I think I wouldn't necessarily have understood, do you know what I mean, what it was doing. And it's then only as you do it over a period of time and you then start to see those results. I can remember one of the first times when it was way before lockdown and we were still in the studio, weren't we? And we had the big mirror. And I remember standing in front of the mirror and doing some arm exercise and going, oh my God, I can look, I can see some
see
definition.
some
I thought, I've never
definition.
seen that. I remember saying, I've never seen that before. And it was, but again, it was one of the things that I could see the result. So for me, that's quite important. I need to see that things are changing and happening. And that's what helps to keep me motivated. But I would never have met that wonderful group of women either. And I have to say, that's the other thing that has kept me and helped me to keep going because I
It's
wouldn't
the
have.
community, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah,
And I
absolutely.
yeah, and I think we definitely had that. Like when I was at the studio, I definitely had a real good
Yeah,
community of
yeah.
people, and we've kept that going with the
Yes,
lift. And
yeah,
also, I know we'll talk about the online experience in a bit, but
yeah, yeah,
um, there's also the community online, which
yes, yeah,
it's I think for some people who perhaps never done online, they
yeah,
think that they
yeah,
won't get that community because you're not meeting
yes,
them in person.
yeah,
But actually, there's a great community both
yeah,
in the lift sessions and online.
yeah,
And would you say that because I was going to say, what's it like training alongside other women? Because I think
yeah,
one of the things is obviously you've got the support from them and
yes,
like you can have that little
yeah,
chat as well, but I also see that if someone like you can push each other a little bit, like if
yes,
someone's lifting something,
definitely.
you think, oh,
Yes,
I'm not sure if
yeah,
I could do that. And then when I go, come on, just give it a
yeah,
go, and you
yeah,
do it, and you're
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
I know, yeah,
So I
yeah,
think there's a little bit of
yeah,
like the support in that way. Everyone's
yes.
cheering you on when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have
And
lifted a
I
little bit
think for
more.
me, if I'm left, you know this, if I'm
It's
left to my own devices, I'll easily give up. Whereas I think if you've got other people there, like you say, who are doing those things next to you kind of feel a little bit like, oh, well, Philippa or Alison or whoever's just done that weight. I can't now go, I'm going to do something lighter. Come on. I need to. Do you know what I mean? It does push you,
Pushes
doesn't
you.
it? To
Yeah,
probably try a bit hard. And they are encouraging you to, and you are, do you know what I mean? To try a bit hard, do a bit more, you can do this. And actually it doesn't, because a lot of what we do, I think it's that belief, it's that self-belief of whether you can do it. And I think your mind sometimes tells you that's too heavy, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, I'm not great at that. But actually when you've got a group of other women who are going, come on, you can do it, and then when you do it, it's quite exhilarating, isn't it? I think it
absolutely.
does
And that
make you
builds up
feel
confidence.
amazing. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they are a lovely group of women. I think we're all in a very similar stage of our lives, so
yeah.
that I think helps. I think it's a bit like a group therapy session. I say that. I
It
say
is.
that
That's
sometimes.
what I mean. It's like we're not just lifting weights, we're
No, we're
lifting
not.
each
I
other up.
think
It's like,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think sometimes that, and I think then you look forward to seeing those people. You don't want to be the one that's letting people, and particularly when people are going through things, I think it's quite nice to be there for them as well and support them,
yeah,
isn't it? And I think that's what's been incredible for me with this group. I actually feel like I've got some real friends and people who I
yes,
actually want to spend time with now. And so because of that, you are, and I think I am trying more and more to prioritize me and say this is my me time. This is my time when it's going to give me the strength that I need to do other things. And I know if I do this consistently, then it will help me. Ultimately, it will help me to keep doing what I want to do. So it's got a
yeah.
lot of a lot of benefits, I suppose.
And I think one of the things that I've noticed is that when women start getting stronger and they're getting more
Yeah, yeah,
obviously confident with lifting weights, whether that's online or whether that's in person, the confidence radiates far beyond that.
yes, yeah,
It's like when you were saying, oh, your knees used to hurt when you were sort of in London and walking up and downstairs, and
yeah,
the confidence you've got now, knowing that that isn't,
yeah,
your knees aren't hurting you, and you can get
yeah,
up and down off the floor with your
yeah,
with your grandkids and take them swimming and do
yeah,
things running around after them.
yeah,
And when we do hard things, because weight training, it's challenging, but when we
yeah,
do those hard things, it sort of goes into your other areas of your
yeah.
life. You have the confidence to know that you can do something. You
Yes,
are stronger than you
absolutely.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I love
I
that.
think I think what you've done for me as well though is you've pushed me and probably beyond what I thought I could do. And I think that then is quite inspirational, motivational, isn't it? Because it keeps
Yeah.
you wanting to. But I think what I needed was to know that I was doing it right and to
Yes.
make sure that the form was right. So it's been done safely.
Oh,
So I'm not going to
absolutely.
injure myself. I'm not going to do anything that is not going to be great for me. And I think that's what's given me that confidence as well now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Building on that,
absolutely.
pushing me, but pushing
Yeah,
me safely
safely.
then. Yeah,
And that's the thing. So when you were saying to me, Nikki, my knees are hurting, we
yeah,
modified everything,
yeah,
didn't we?
yeah,
I
absolutely.
modified those exercises
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Um, and then over time,
yeah,
then we would try,
yeah,
you try something, you think, oh, actually that's
yeah,
okay now. But I think
yeah,
because we'd spent time building some strength, you were
yeah,
then able to try some of these things that you perhaps hadn't
yeah,
done for a long time. And again, that's confidence
yes, yeah,
to try it.
yeah,
But and when you're lifting the weights, we're doing it steadily. It's done
yes,
on a
yes, yes,
progressively. So I'm not gonna, I've
yeah.
not said to you, right, Jane, you're gonna pick up
No,
that
no,
barbell
no.
there and straight
Yeah,
away. We've
yeah.
worked up to it,
Yeah,
haven't we?
yeah. But you
And for
have
me,
pushed me, and I think that's what I needed. And I don't
yeah,
think I really realized that, or even realized what I could do. I think you probably saw that before I
yeah,
could, and would have said
always,
to me, "Come on, have a go. Just try doing this." And then
yeah,
if you like, the exhilaration of
yeah,
then being able to do it is quite, do you know what I mean? It gives you quite a giddy high almost, doesn't it? Do
Yeah, of
you know
course
what
it
I
does, because
mean?
you're like, I've just done that.
I
I've just
know.
lifted that weight.
I
Oh my
know.
goodness, I didn't think I'd be
Yeah.
able to. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that for me as a coach is like, I love it.
Yeah.
That's,
I know.
I just love to see
Mm.
my clients getting stronger, having the confidence, getting fitter, and enjoying
Yeah.
it as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you
Absolutely.
posted in the we'll talk about the online,
Yeah.
but one
Yeah.
of the things you posted, because we've got an online accountability
Yes.
group,
Yes.
haven't we?
Yeah.
And you
That's
posted a
helped.
picture of
Yeah.
yourself saying, I
Yes.
haven't worn this in a while.
Yeah.
And then you put underneath, I'm actually, and you put something about going to the gym, and then you put in brackets, I'm actually enjoying
I
it.
know, yeah, I am. I
Like,
know. You never thought you'd hear the day, did you? You never thought
no,
you'd hear the day of me saying that because I don't think it is something I naturally enjoy doing. But I think I've grown to enjoy it. Isn't what I would have chosen to have done, probably. If I had a choice of doing lots of different things, it isn't what it previously, anyway, I would have chosen to have done. But I think over time, I've really grown to enjoy it to the point now, I think, because I did stuff with you as well. I actually feel comfortable going on my own now, which I never would have done. And I think that's the other one as well, isn't it? I think now that I know what I'm doing and I can
yes,
go in and do something more individually, I think it is about building that confidence, isn't it?
yeah,
To not feel
absolutely.
really out of place in a gym or wherever it is, and go and do. I am a very sociable person.
You are,
I think
Jane.
I do need group exercise has always been my thing above running or doing anything individually. And it would always be my go-to choice. I think if I'm going to do something and stick to it, that's why I've stuck to this as long as I have, because I've done it in a group situation. But I do feel like I can do it individually now and would feel comfortable doing it because of that, because I've grown in
Yes.
confidence.
Well, we
And then,
went to the gym together, didn't we? You
yes, we
came
did.
with
Yes.
me, and
And that
I've
helped.
been to your gym
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at the exercise equipment
Yeah.
there, and then giving you a program around that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I know in the past that you wouldn't
I
have
wouldn't have
felt
done that.
confident to
No,
do
no,
that.
no. Absolutely not.
So that's
Yeah.
brilliant that you
Yeah.
are able to go into the gym. You've got your program, which I've
Yeah.
given you, and you
Yeah.
know exactly what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what you have to do, and you just go
Yeah.
in and do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's discipline, isn't it,
Yeah.
Jane? Whereas
Yeah.
because we're not always motivated to do that,
No.
but over time, you know that that is giving you results. You feel better for doing it, and so you think, I've set that time aside,
Yeah.
and most of the time you go and do it unless there's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
crop
Yeah.
up that you can't. But
Mm.
in the past, that you would not have done that. So I
No, I
mean, to
wouldn't have
me,
done.
that's like,
No. I
yes,
know exactly. Real
I've done my
breakthrough.
job.
And I feel like
Absolute
it
breakthrough.
has been a breakthrough for me as well. And I
Yeah,
think this is where I can see, going back to what we talked about at the start, that consistency piece now,
yes,
I can see
absolutely.
why it's important. And I think
Yes,
probably in the past, I did what I had to do to get what the result that I needed at the time. But I
yeah,
think the shift change in mindset has been if I keep doing this now consistently, it will I can see the results now. I can actually see the benefit of it really. So I prioritize it. So I want to do it. That's the
yeah,
difference, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, brilliant. And then we'll touch on to the online then, because obviously
Yes. Yeah.
um, I've created this Midlife Mojo Method online
Yeah.
program for women over 40. And obviously you were working with me in the
Yeah.
lift.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that as well?
Yeah. So I suppose for me it came at the right time because I'd been doing the lift stuff. I said that I wanted to focus on getting stronger, um, for when I was going to turn 60. And I know I've got a lot going on at home at the moment. So we're trying to move house. There's loads of stuff
Yeah,
going on at work. And I felt like I needed something that was going to help me to stay focused and on track. And I felt like the Midlife Mojo online program was just that extra bit of accountability. So I think that's what I felt. You very kindly offered to help me. Do you know what I mean? When I got to that point where I said I wanted to make these changes, and I think you started checking in with me more
Yeah,
regularly and just making sure how I was getting on. And I think that accountability piece really helped me. Particularly on days when I could have easily have thought, oh, I don't know whether I want to do this. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I haven't done everything consistently every day, but I think even just sharing some of my struggles in this program have helped me to realize I'm not the only one. So other people are
exactly.
going through similar things. Um, but also, even just a few tips and things on could you do this? Don't forget to focus on your water intake today. Don't forget to get moving and do something. It makes you stop and go, right, what am I going to do today that's going to help me to hit my macros, to, do you know what I mean? Get some movement in, to drink a bit more, to make sure I get enough rest and a bit, in time to recharge. So all those things have probably helped me to focus on doing those things consistently. That's what I would say this program has given me. And like I said, to realize that I'm not the only one that's feeling like this. We're all
Yeah.
in similar
Because
positions.
everyone in the group
Yeah,
so far pretty much
yeah,
has had something come up within these
yes,
12 weeks. There's been lots of things, hasn't there? There's been getting back to work, or
yeah,
illness,
yes,
losses
absolutely.
of
Yeah, yeah,
friends, and some real quite
yeah,
big things,
yeah,
house work,
yeah,
big things going on in the house, you're moving,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it is, life is like that, isn't it?
yeah,
So what would you say? Because obviously you're in the process of moving house.
yeah,
Because I often get women saying, "Oh, it's not the right time,"
yes.
and for me, I
I
always
know what
think
you
there is
mean.
never a right time, because
Yeah,
life
yeah.
will throw us curveballs
Always.
all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
So do you feel like, because obviously in the online program we've got an app,
yes,
you've got all your workouts in the app,
yeah,
and that's all bespoke. The training
yeah,
program is bespoke for you, and
yes,
everyone's got an individual one.
yeah.
But do you feel like the check-ins and the support in the group, and the check-ins from me and the accountability has helped you
Oh,
through?
absolutely. I really don't think I would have stuck to it the way that I have if I hadn't had that constant reminder almost. That's what it feels like for me. But you're right when you said, I think it is true. I think we all feel sometimes like we all have a time when we feel like we want to do something. And then the reality of what the effort of doing it hits you, and you kind of go, I haven't really got the time for this. One of the things where I one of the my job is I do a lot of stuff in training, and I do one of the quotes that I use a lot with the people who I work with is, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I
Yeah.
kind of had to almost, rather than say it
Remind
to them, I
yourself.
had to remind myself exactly
Yeah.
and stop and go, so what does that mean for me? And I think what this program and the other stuff that I've done with you has been, even if you just do one little thing, it's one small change, isn't it? But it's
Yeah.
something that's going to help you towards your end goal. And I suppose that's what I really wanted. That's what I found through this program. I like the tailoredness of it. So it's not just a general thing everybody's doing. It's specifically done for me, which
Yeah.
I do like. And again, it's that whole accountability piece and the just checking in and just reminding me of what I need to do has really
Yeah,
helped.
and do you feel and you've actually said it really, that
Yeah.
that accountability and me sort of popping into the group daily and saying,
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
forget to
Yeah.
drink water, or
Don't
what
forget.
movement
Yeah.
are you doing today,
Yes.
that has
Yeah.
helped you stay on track
Oh,
in between
yeah.
your
Yeah. No, it absolutely
sessions,
has.
what you're
And
doing.
I think particularly like you said, I think particularly when life gets busy, it's easy to put you to the
Yeah,
bottom of the pile, and you kind of go, all these other things need doing beforehand. But I think what I've learned is by planning, by putting it in, then you adjust your day around it.
yeah, I
Whereas I
love
think
that.
probably what I did before was think I need to get all these other things done first. And then if there's time, then I'll do this. I think if you want to see a change, you've got to do something different. So I
Yeah.
think the big thing for me was I've got to put it in and it's got to be my priority. Then I need to work all the other things around it. Do you know what I mean? And some other things might have to go because I might not have to clean the bathroom on that day.
Yeah,
On another day, or
absolutely.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or I might have to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that call, or I can't do whatever it is because I really need to go to this. And I think that's the
Yes.
difference. Or I really need to
I,
do my food prep or whatever it's gonna be.
and actually, that, by planning, even though
Yeah.
it might take a little bit of time, maybe on a Sunday to do a bit of planning, it does save you time over the
Oh,
week anyway,
absolutely. Yeah,
doesn't it?
definitely.
Because you're taking away, if you know, right, okay, I know what I'm going to have to eat tomorrow, then when
Yeah,
that day comes, you're not thinking of what am I going to have to
I
eat. It
know.
takes away that decision.
Yes, it
And
does.
we do get decision fatigue. We have to make so many decisions throughout the day, especially if we've
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
you're full-time working, you've got
yeah,
a really stressful job sometimes with your
yeah,
traveling. So
yeah,
it does take that away. And I
yeah,
think that's part of, sometimes we think, oh God, I haven't got time to plan, but actually it
yeah.
saves you time in the long run if you know what to do.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
those things have helped me because what you didn't do was just dump it all and go, here you go, get your head around that, this is what you've got to do. It was a little bit like, so let's focus on what you're going to have for breakfast. Get that bit
yeah,
right. Let's focus on what now you're going to do for lunch. Think about how you're going to increase your water intake. Think about your sleep. Think about, do you know what I mean? But it wasn't all in one, here you go.
yeah. Yeah,
It
we'd
built up
spent
quite
sort of time.
nicely.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
obviously everybody has got different struggles.
yeah,
Something that that perhaps doesn't come as easy to them, or some people are great with the nutrition and not so good at the
yeah,
exercise, and vice
yeah,
versa. So it's all
yeah,
about
yeah,
tailoring that
yeah,
again, so that helping. For me, it's helping my clients get over that little struggle, that little hurdle that they
yeah,
sort of keep getting stuck at. And what would you say? Because obviously with online coaching, um, a lot of people sort of maybe a bit reluctant to do it because they haven't got that in person.
mhm.
I mean, obviously we do our Zoom calls, so
Yes,
there's always there's contact in the group.
yeah,
Um, but what would you say, like anything that surprised you about how effective that the
yeah.
online coaching program has been?
I think because we're all in a similar position, you very quickly make connections and can see, do you know what I mean? You make yeah, connections with people, I think probably because you're in a similar position, you've got similar struggles. And I think once you start talking to people online, even through the group chat, really, you do feel as quite a strong connection with people quite quickly, actually. And I think what has surprised me is how supportive people have been. So if people have put in a post where they've said, "Oh, I'm really struggling today," people don't get radio silence. So all of a sudden, there's four or five people who are going, "Keep going, you can do this." Was feeling the same, or whatever it is, and that kind of helps. So in some ways, I've been surprised how quickly we as a group have made those connections, even the reality is not knowing each other before
Yeah,
this. So I think you can actually build that same sense of community,
yeah.
even online, even when you're not seeing people face to face, which I would always rather do. But actually, I've felt the same support from those people that I would have done from people that I've known,
In person,
face to
yeah.
yeah, in person. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, because I think you can definitely get um the same sort of support. And even though you might not have met those people, you feel you know
Yeah,
them
you do.
just through
Yeah.
their posts.
Yes,
And
definitely.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and like you say, everyone is there to help each other. Anyone has a bad day, somebody comes in and sort
Yeah.
of gives offers of support, or just sort of like sharing a bit of love, or
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then you feel that you're not having to perhaps deal with that just on
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really not. I like that
Yeah.
you've felt that, because I
Yes.
know how much of a people person you are.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
great that you
Yes.
felt that from an online.
Mm.
Um, what would you say that you are, let's just talk about like your results that you've
Yes.
had,
Yeah.
and what changes have you noticed? I mean, I know you've been with me for a long time, but
Mm.
sort of more recently, I know there's been a lot more
Mm.
changes, hasn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Probably because
Yeah.
you said you'd be more consistent with
Yes.
things, but
Yeah.
what changes have you noticed in yourself since sort of
So I
perhaps
suppose
this
I
program? And
mentioned a few about them before, but I suppose I think I feel sharper. I feel like more able to concentrate and those kind of things. Physically, I've seen some real changes. So I feel stronger. I feel more toned.
yes,
Um, I was shocked I was shocked when I took some pictures, some before and after pictures, and really saw a difference physically. So things that I would have felt uncomfortable wearing before, like I've said, feel looser, feel my clothes feel more comfortable. I feel more able to wear things that I want to wear because I don't feel like I feel more confident in how I look with those. Um, but one of the big shocks for me was I have an annual blood pressure check every year
yes,
with my doctor. And I mean, I take medication for blood pressure. I probably will have to because of my medical history for the rest of my life. But even with all the medication that I'd taken, I would still go and have my blood pressure check and it would still be high. And for the first time this year, I went and had that checked and it was
I
normal,
mean,
which I've
that
never
is
had. Do you know
never
what I
had.
mean?
And
Never
yeah,
had. So
no,
that
and I
was
know
a
those,
real, yeah,
yeah, those are things you've spoken to me about,
yeah,
and that was one of your concerns, wasn't it? You
yeah,
didn't want to,
yeah.
especially with your
With the
grandmother's
family
and your
history.
mom's
Yeah,
history.
yeah,
That was one thing that was keeping you
yeah,
sort of being more consistent as well,
yeah,
wasn't it,
yeah,
really?
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
that's amazing,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. No, it
I
is.
mean, what
But physically, I feel better. I don't feel as bloated. I don't feel as tired and fatigued as I did. I've definitely feel sharper and clearer. And I think that's helped me to keep on track because
yes,
I feel like I haven't felt as emotionally drained or, do you know what I mean, physically drained. So it's made me want to carry on. So even with
yes,
everything that I've got going on, which again, I think if I hadn't consistently done this, I would have been going, there's too much going on now. I don't think I can do it. But
yeah,
because I'm
I'll wait till
seeing,
after it's
yes,
done. Yeah,
exactly. I'll wait until I've moved. Wait
yeah,
until this, then I'll do it. But actually, I'm glad I haven't done that because actually, I think this has enabled me to cope without all the change and to keep doing what I need to do just because I've prioritized this. So it's gone far beyond probably for me, the main motivation in the past was how I was going to look. Do you know what I mean? In photographs or whatever it was to get into a dress for whatever big event it was. It's gone beyond that now. It's not just about how I want to feel stronger. I want to be able to do stuff that I can do. And actually, I want to know that I suppose it's that longevity piece as well now, isn't it? When you start to get to this point, I thought actually, I still want to be doing the things I want to do, into my 80s and whatever. If I'm still here.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I
yeah,
still want to do those
absolutely.
things. I don't want to be limited. And I think it's helping me to think about, have one eye on that future and what that could be, really.
Yeah, and like having made all these changes and you've got all these results, you're feeling so much better.
Yeah.
If you keep going, you're going to be able to,
Yes.
well, live your life to the full for as long as you're here, because
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know, you're
Yeah.
not letting yourself get frail and or
Yeah.
using age as an excuse as
Yes.
well. You're
Yeah.
just, you're making, right, okay, what can I do to make my future life
Yeah.
better?
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. And would
Yeah.
you say that, like, your family and friends have noticed a difference in you,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
not just physically, but sort
Yeah.
of in the way that you?
Yeah, yeah. People at work definitely have. So I've had comments, and actually, the guys at work have been quite good with me because I've shared with them the fact that I want to get to these sessions every week. So I have a couple of people now who, if I'm still in the office at a certain time, will tell me, "Oh dear, my battery's getting low. Sorry." That my they'll tell me to go home. So they'll say it's about time you got on the road because otherwise you won't get to your class, and you kind of
That's
go. So
brilliant,
that's
isn't it? Having that
yeah.
support.
So
Yeah,
that's been good. Those guys have noticed. So people ask me what I do, and I often share with them. Do you know what I mean? The things that I do. Um, so that's been quite good. Family definitely have seen, I think, a difference because I think I am overall just more, I'm enjoying what I'm doing when I'm with them and actually
yes,
enjoying the time that we're having together and not feeling quite so probably drained or um yeah, emotionally overwhelmed maybe by things. So I am actually
that's huge,
enjoying,
isn't it?
yes, yeah.
Yes,
So I'm enjoying those events, but I have as well, and the ladies, that at Lifton of things have said to me, "Oh goodness, you've lost weight," and you kind of go,
yeah,
and that's quite nice to see when people start to see that, isn't it? And
yeah.
make
And
comments about that.
actually, like, it's more like, yes, you have lost some weight, but actually, it's more that your body shape
Yes,
is
my shape
changing,
has
isn't it?
changed, most definitely. Yeah. And that, but again, that makes it feel like you can, when you start to see results, it does make you feel better, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
even when, and I know you have sometimes focused on scales, and I've said, don't worry
Yes.
about what the
Yeah.
scales,
Yeah.
and you sent me those pictures, and I was like,
I
God,
know.
Jay,
I know.
that was just
Yeah. Yeah.
the difference. And I think after that, it did click a little bit with
Yeah.
you when you sort of
Definitely. Yes. Yeah.
seeing the side by side pictures, but even though the weight wasn't
The
going in the
scales
way
weren't
that you,
necessarily saying what I wanted them to say.
yeah,
And I think that was, I had in my head, I needed to lose so many pounds or whatever it was. And the scales were not necessarily showing that. And in old me would have got really demotivated with that. But I think the fact that then I saw a difference in my shape made me think, well, actually, that's a better result than worrying about what the scales are doing. That isn't to say I wouldn't quite like
absolutely.
to lose a few more pounds, but I don't feel like that's my main priority anymore. So when I do, it does make me feel better, but seeing the results has been a better result, if that makes
Yes.
sense. Seeing the impact it's had has
Yeah.
been
And
better
it's
for me.
because you're building muscle and
Yeah,
you're losing body
yeah,
fat. But sometimes
yeah,
what a lot of women, same as you, they want to see that result on the scales, and
yeah,
it's me trying to sort of say, well, if you're losing
yeah,
fat but you're building muscle, your weight might not show any
yes,
different on the scales or much
yeah,
different, but
yeah,
look how you
yes,
look now compared to then.
yeah,
And it is, I think it's those visuals that are important as well, and
yeah,
that's one way we look at measuring your progress, don't we, as well
yeah,
as the
yeah.
scales and the measurements.
Yeah.
um Brilliant. So you've done absolutely amazingly,
Oh,
Jane.
sister,
And I
thank you
know
for
that
your help.
your story is going to inspire other women, because
Let's
obviously
hope.
I meet lots of women that say the
Yeah.
same sort of things that you felt, when you at the beginning of your journey and throughout, really. Um, what would you say to other women in their 40s, 50s and beyond who are feeling stuck, or tired, or like, oh, it's just too late to make a change?
Yeah, I think do something.
I think Jane's lost her. Yeah.
Hi. So what would I say? I would say do it. Just do it. And I suppose prioritize it. That's the key, because I think that's what I've said before. What I didn't do in the past was put me first. And I think
Yes, yeah,
actually there's a bit around just maybe even just doing one small change. I think
love that.
sometimes I think we all get a bit overwhelmed with, well, this is where I want to be, and it's breaking it down into those small steps to get to it, isn't it? And I think probably again, some of the mistakes I think I've made in the past have been trying to change your whole lifestyle in
In
one
one
go.
week.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Because this is what you want to do. And the reality is, you won't do that or you won't stick to that, will you? That's the reality, because you'll end up doing all sorts of other things. So I think focus on making maybe one small change. But I think the advantage with doing this has been the right advice and guidance and the right support. So you've
And we do
and
focus on,
planning. Yeah,
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 and we
a
focus
plan in
on
place
each.
to help you to do it. That's the difference, I think, probably. Whereas I think if I'd been left to my own devices in the past, I'd have been trying to change everything all in one go and then wondering why it wasn't working, because I was doing things in reality were not what I would do. So they weren't things that I was going to ultimately stick to, because they weren't really things either I enjoyed doing or were part of my lifestyle. So it's finding things, I think, that are what you've been good at with me, I think, is giving me some good tips on small twat changes. So do you know what I mean? Things that I still would want to do, but some making healthier choices on doing things that are going to fit in with my lifestyle, and not letting me be overly ambitious almost sometimes and trying to change loads of things. Do you
Those,
know what I mean?
yeah,
That aren't going to
and
work.
yeah, and also what we've done is made it sustainable so it fits.
Yes,
It's no,
absolutely.
you've said to me you can do so many exercise sessions a week.
Yes.
So we've planned that. I haven't said to you, no, you need to do six
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. You need to go to the gym every day. You need to be, yeah,
Exactly. And we
exactly.
don't need to do that.
No,
It's
no.
you've proven that.
Yeah.
And because you go three times, you
Yes.
come twice to me and then you
Yeah.
go once on your own.
Yeah.
And then you do swimming with the grandkids
Yeah.
and just
And
general movement,
walking
walking
the
the
dog
dog.
and doing other things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not extreme at all, is it? But you're
No.
still getting results. And I think
Yeah.
that's one thing a lot of women feel like they need to be constantly in the gym or they
Yeah.
can't have those
Yeah.
foods that they love. And
Yeah.
we factor that in
Yeah.
as
Or
well.
doing really high intensity, long training sessions. And I think even a couple of weeks ago, we went and did a session together, didn't we? Because I wanted you to help me with a program and to do some slightly different things. And we didn't spend hours there. But actually, I came away feeling like I knew I'd done something. I knew I'd done something different because I was using some slightly different muscles. So actually, it felt like a nice, do you know what I mean, ache, because I felt like I'd done
Yes.
something. But we didn't spend ages there, did we? And actually, I think that's the difference. I think sometimes you feel like you've got to feel really uncomfortable and you've got to really push yourself. I don't think you necessarily do need to come away feeling like that, do you? To
No,
see
not at all.
results.
It's about having the right program for
Yes.
you
Yes.
and
To focus on the right
and
areas for you. Yeah.
exactly and based on your goals.
Yes.
And obviously the majority, like all the women actually in the Midlife Mojo program, everyone is doing weight
Yeah.
training, but they will be, some are doing it from home,
Yeah.
some are going to the gym, some have got quite a bit of equipment at home, some have only got resistance bands and body weight,
Mhm.
and their program will be given individually to
Yes.
meet whatever they've
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
But I like that because it's not we're not having to train literally every day. And like I say, give up all the foods. You're still enjoying,
Yeah. Yeah.
time out with your
Yeah.
family when you go for meals and
Yes.
your breaks away. You've
Yeah.
navigated those as
Yeah,
well
absolutely. Yeah.
and still
But I think
enjoyed the
what I've done
foods.
there before, I probably would have just gone, oh, I'll just eat what I like, not worry about it. Do you know what I mean? And then get back into it when I got back. I think what you've given me is some understanding of making some better choices. So I'm still feeling like I'm enjoying myself and having something that I want to eat, but I'm not going mad, and do you know what I mean? And not thinking of,
Not
and
completely
actually
off track.
eating more mindfully has probably made me enjoy what I eat a bit more now, actually. That's the
Yeah,
difference
because
as
it's
well.
making you feel better. You're not,
Yes. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you're choosing foods that make you feel better as well, but without having to give up everything
Yes.
that you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Why do you think something like this program, well, obviously this program, is so powerful for women in midlife?
I think again, because I think when we've shared some of the common things that we all experience, we're all experiencing the same things, aren't we? And I think the support, the understanding that actually we're not unique, you're not on your own, you, do you know what I mean? Because I think that probably helps women more than anything of feeling like, it's just me, I'm the only one that's struggling with this. But actually going through a program, particularly I think for women in midlife, when we I've said this to you loads, haven't I? When you're in your 20s and 30s, you could be good for a week, you'd lose half a stone, you'd feel great, you just carry on. The reality is the older we get, the harder it is, isn't it? And the longer it takes to see results. And I think I always was quite if I could see results, I'd stick to it in the past. So it's easy to give up then, isn't it, when you're not starting to see results? But I think it's that general understanding that you need something different in midlife. And actually, it's not just about what you eat, it's not just about some of the exercise you're doing. There's lots of other things, aren't there, that you need to
Yeah.
consider, your sleep, your water intake, all those other things. And I think actually having the support of people who are in the same position as you helps you to share your experience and stay focused. I think it is a different, you need a different mindset probably,
Yeah,
don't
we
you?
have to be a bit more patient, I think,
Yes.
with regards to results. But we can get results, like you
Yes.
say, when we're in our
Yeah.
20s and 30s. Our bodies were different, our hormones were different,
Yes.
but we can still get results in midlife. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have to be more patient. But what I like about the group, that we've got shared experiences, we've
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
and like you say, we understand what someone else is going through.
Mm.
Perhaps we haven't been through exactly the same, but we've been through
Yeah.
something similar, or we're experiencing something similar.
Mm.
Brilliant. And what does getting your mojo back mean to you? Because obviously, I've named it
Yeah.
Midlife Mojo Method
Yes.
because
Yeah.
that's what I want women to
Yeah.
have, their
Yeah.
mojo back.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm more of me again now. Whereas I think
Yeah.
probably I started to lose some of that. And particularly, I think at one time when I was really struggling with menopause symptoms and other things, I think you start to feel like you're never going to be yourself again. You're never going to be the person that you were before. And there's a little bit of losing. You do feel like you're losing yourself, don't you? Whereas I feel like I've got a bit of me back now, and I am able to then enjoy the time that I'm spending with people and not feeling miserable and fed up. Do you know what I mean? And just generally exhausted and just not feeling like me. So I do, yeah, I do feel like a little bit of me is coming back, which
I
I'm
love, love,
hoping
love
people
that.
will see as well, and I'm hoping family and friends will see as well, definitely.
Brilliant. And if someone's watching this and thinking about joining the Midlife Mojo Method, what would you say to them?
I would say, like, I think, like I said before, absolutely do it, because I think what it has given me is that just that focus and that, yeah, it's helped me to stay on track. That's the key to it, I think. I'm not saying, well, I think I probably would have given up actually before. So it's helped me to stay on track. That's why I would say it's really important. Yeah,
Yeah, and one of the things that I added to this program that I hadn't added into any others was the accountability, because
yeah,
I did my accountability coach
yeah,
um,
yeah,
course at the beginning of the year, and I wanted to factor that in. And so that's really
yeah.
nice to know that you
That's
feel
been the
that that
shift
has
change for
been,
me, I think.
yeah,
I think just having
brilliant.
that. And I won't always say it's been easy some days, because there are some days where you kind of go, I need to
Cool.
confess that I haven't done
Yes.
it. But
But
it
it is
has
about,
made
and
me
I've
stop
said
and think about it though every day.
brilliant. And what I've always said, isn't it? It's not about being perfect. It's about being
Yeah.
consistently imperfect. We just
Yeah.
need to be consistent with
Yeah.
a lot of the things most of the time, but not if
Yes.
you still
Yeah.
get results even if you have those days or weekends or
Yeah.
times where you perhaps haven't, you've gone a little bit off track.
Yeah.
But the idea of the program was to sort of, with the accountability, was to, right, okay, when you're, what's the next best thing you can do, isn't it? That's
Yes.
what I say to you all.
Yeah.
What's the next best thing you can do? If you've gone off track, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I
Just
think
don't stay off track.
I would have given up in old me would have
Right.
gone, I've had a
Yes.
bad day. So then that would have sometimes become a bad week. And then something would have been happening, and I thought I'll just do that and then I'll get back onto it. And then months later I'd still be, do you know what I mean, off track. Whereas I think the difference now is I might have a bad day, but the next day then I'll be back on track. Do you know what I mean? Or I'll be thinking,
Yes.
making more mindful choices than the next day. I think the other thing that did really surprise me at the start was how much I was eating, albeit was stuff that was probably better for me, but I was losing weight. And I think that
Yes.
I didn't expect to see. That was one of the things I really didn't expect to see. So I wasn't feeling hungry. Do you know what I mean? Because I was eating, but I was eating the right things. So I could eat more of the right things.
Yeah.
um,
And very often we think that we've got to hardly eat anything in order to lose
exactly.
weight.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not the case. And I
No.
know there's another lady that's said exactly the same to me. She goes, I'm
Yeah.
eating so much more, Nikki. I
Yeah.
can't believe this is,
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
losing weight when I'm
Yeah.
eating so much more.
Exactly.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And then it just proves that actually, we don't have to eat like birds.
Yes.
We can,
Yeah. No, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about, like you say, perhaps choosing foods that are more filling,
Yeah. Yeah.
still enjoying those other foods
Yeah.
obviously that we enjoy
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, brilliant.
But those swaps, if you like, those are the things
Yes,
that I think you really helped me with, of thinking about what could you want, that, but what could you swap then that would give you, do you know what I mean, a slightly better, would be a slightly better choice.
yes, yeah. And you've done that now, and that's become you don't have to think about it now. You just
No,
make those
it is
choices, don't you?
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And finally, how would you describe your experience, just in a few words,
Yeah.
from the program?
uh Inspirational, motivational, and fun. So I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I think again that makes a well, you're more likely to stick to it, aren't you, if you're enjoying it and you're having some fun. So yeah, that would be it for me.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jane, for sharing your story. And I know a lot of women are going to relate to this because I've got women in the program as well that have could probably tell me a very similar story if I were
Yeah.
to speak to them like this.
Yeah.
And you're proof that it's not too late to feel strong, to feel confident,
Mm.
and to have that energy and to have your mojo back.
Mm.
And if anyone watching would like to experience what Jane has experienced in this program, you can join my Midlife Mojo Method, and I'm going to pop the details below. So thank you, Jane. Thank you for your time
Thank you.
today.
No, thank you. Thanks.
Just